Afternoon and welcome to Woman, the show where we confront the real unfiltered experiences that shape women's lives. I'm your host, Ameze Bazwai, and today we're focusing on a sensitive but very critical issue that many women experience silently. I'm talking about sexual disconnect and intimacy challenges after childbirth. Now, postpartum sex is one of the least discussed yet most impactful aspects of motherhood. Research shows that up to 83% of women report some form of sexual dysfunction in the months following childbirth, from reduced libido, vaginal dryness, and even pain during intercourse to, of course, emotional disinterest or aversion to sexual intimacy. For some, it can basically last just a few months. For others, it may linger for years to years to years, affecting not only their relationship with their partner, but it also has an effect on their sense of womanhood and personal identity. Now, the reasons behind this shift are complex. They are multidimensional. We have hormonal changes such as a drop in estrogen and an increase in prolactin due to breastfeeding. All of these can dampen libido. Now, the physical toll of childbirth alone, especially in cases of episiotomy, cesarean sections, or traumatic deliveries, can make sex physically painful or emotionally triggering. And added to this is the exhaustion from sleepless nights, the mental load of parenting, and of course societal expectations that prioritize a woman's role as a mother over her needs as a sexual being. And it becomes very clear while sex for many women postpartum becomes very, very undesirable and it's no longer a joy. Yet, despite this, how common these experiences may be, many women feel isolated, they feel ashamed, or even broken for not bouncing back sexually. They suppress their emotions or they endure intimacy for the sake of peace or for childbearing, as the case may be, and most of them end up losing themselves in the process. This episode of the program, Woman to Woman, seeks to challenge that silence. I like to educate, validate, and if possible, empower women out there through this particular episode. Alright, to help me give credence to this topic, I'm being joined by a renowned postpartum and motherhood specialist who is a mother herself. She specializes in helping women through the complex emotional and physical terrain of post-birth recovery. I'm talking about Precious Lionel Kolade. Good afternoon and welcome to Woman to Woman.
Hi, Ameze. Thank you so much for having me on the program today. Thank you.
So today we'll explore what happens to the body and mind after childbirth, why sex can feel so different, and most importantly, how can women rediscover themselves sexually? So I'll start off with this question now. Precious, some women actually report feeling disconnected from their bodies after delivery, especially during sex. What roles do you think that body image and self-perception can actually play in postpartum intimacy? And also, how can women begin to rebuild that connection?
First of all, let's talk about the disconnection that happens, because whether we like it or not, the woman's body has gone through a whole lot. You know, we watch videos online that talks about how the organs moves up, or how her hormones changes, how she doesn't feel like herself anymore. Now, the first point I would like to talk about now is this, you know, the physical changes that happened. I mean, I remember when I was pregnant, and I think I was about, when I was 4 months, 5 months, I was like, thank God there are no stretch marks on my body and all of that. And I think when I was 6 months, my younger sister just was like, wow, look at your stomach, you have stretch marks. I'm like, what? Immediately I started crying. And I thought, okay, you know what, count how many stretch marks are there. And she counted like 7. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was crying, it was crazy. Do you understand me? So that's one point that, you know, women go through when it comes to pregnancy. That's just one out of the scarring for those who give birth through CS. Or should we also talk about the vagina, how they say the vagina expand, because I didn't give birth through the vaginal route. I gave birth through CS, so I really can't tell you, okay, this is what happens to the vagina after, you know, pushing a baby out. Do you understand? So should we talk about how saggy our breasts are? Like when I was pregnant, before I got pregnant, anybody who knew me knew that, okay, I had really small boobs. The moment I got pregnant, give it 2-3 months, it was all falling. I was losing my shit. You understand? So all of these physical changes are a lot, and at that point the woman is insecure about herself. Or should we also talk about the hormonal shift? Do you understand? Like when you're hormonal, sometimes you're not even interested in having sex, you just want to be on your own. Or should we also talk about the mental load a woman goes through postpartum? This woman has given birth to a newborn, and every mother out there would know that when you bring a newborn to your house, be ready at least for the first 1 month. You will not sleep, your sleep routine will change. You are having to, for those who gave birth through CS, they are recovering from their incision, that's the scar. For those who gave birth vaginally, and those who went through the episiotomy, or what do they call it? I think that part where you cut the vagina just to bring out the baby easily. You understand? They're still healing from that. Or should we also talk about the fact that you can't sleep? I've said that before. Or the fact that you have to breastfeed constantly despite the pain and everything. And it's now even worse doing it alone. Do you understand me? And also the cultural expectation for women to bounce back. I remember when I was just 4 months postpartum, and then I went to a place, and so someone I know, someone I respect, looked at me. I was like, what happened? You gave birth 4 months ago. Why is the stomach still big and all of that? Such words like that. Trust me, if my husband were to come to me with those with intimacy talk, at that point, it's not even what is going to be on my head. Do you understand? So it's not easy. It's not easy for a woman. You understand? The question is, what role do you think the body image and perception does in the postpartum intimacy? It plays a lot of role. It plays a lot of role because I, for instance, I'm still healing. I'm looking at my husband. Please come on. All I'm thinking about is, please, how will he help me with my baby? How will he help me with my baby so I can rest? That is what is on my mind. I'm not thinking, and I think it's the same for every woman. I feel for women who actually are not interested in sex because it's not easy. Like they've just gone through a whole phase, like the labor, the induction, the CS, the healing, the everything. It is not easy. You understand? So if at this point you feel like it's taking too long for you to heal, which is not your fault, you just went through a lot, like I said, just go for therapy, go for counseling. It will make you feel better. It doesn't mean you can't love yourself despite all of this. You understand? So this is what I would say basically. Give yourself grace. There is nothing wrong with you. It is okay for you to feel the way you feel. But if it's taking too long for you to heal, you go for therapy.
Okay, so beyond the physical recovery, what cultural or psychological expectations are placed on new mothers that may actually worsen the loss of sexual desire? And also, how can women reclaim their right to pleasure without having that feeling of shame? Because if you look at our society, from time immemorial, a lot of women are made to understand that talking about that aspect of life is not something you should do publicly. So how do women overcome that feeling of shame and talk about this conversation, have these conversations without having to be ashamed?
The truth is this, let's not lie to ourselves. In society today, there are a lot of cultural and psychological expectations from us. Number one, I would always say, the bounce back culture. I really don't know where women or where people or where society got the idea that as a mother you have to bounce back like few months postpartum. Some people even say as at 6 weeks. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people who have the who have the blessing, or who have the I don't want to say the luck, but they just have them, just for lack of words to use, they have the luck of getting snatched back as quickly as possible. I mean, I have a friend of mine who like 3 months I saw her picture and I'm like, where did all your belly go to? And she gave birth through CS, because we know that there's this idea that when you, as a mother, if you give birth through CS, it's harder for your belly to grow flatter because there is no tying of your stomach. You can't wear all of those belly wraps and all of that. You understand? So I was surprised. I was like, where did all your belly go? And she told me, oh, breastfeeding helped her. And that stuck in my head. Okay, when I give birth, I'm going to breastfeed my child. I'm going to tie my belly, because I wasn't thinking that I was going to give birth through CS, of course. So that was already embedded in me that, okay, I've got to snatch back like this lady. What? And all of that. And guess what? I gave birth through CS. and I'm like, okay, I gave birth to CS, it's fine. At least my friend said that all I need to do is exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. My belly will go back. My sister. Oh my God. Now we are 10 months postpartum and my belly is not down. Now, and that is fine. I mean, 4 months postpartum, I said it in the last question. Somebody reached out to me. I was like, why is your belly still big? Take ginger, take garlic, take this juice, take that juice, do this one. In fact, some people will come and be like, your stomach is still big. Did you give birth through CS? I'm like, oh yes, I did. Oh, no wonder. I'm so sorry, and all of that. And it made me feel some type of way, because I'm like, why am I placed with all of this expectation? Somebody will say, you will just be eating. Before you know it, you go turn Lokozuna. When I heard that thing, and this came from someone I really respected, I cried. I felt so bad, because I'm like, why does society expect so much? Now, imagine I am feeling all of these emotions at once, and Oga is saying, how far now? What's up with me for tonight? I will not be interested. I will not be interested in any way, because I have just gone through hell and back. Do you understand? So all of this cultural expectation, and also the psychological one, the one you put on yourself, that okay, I have to snatch back. I put that on myself as well, because I'm like, no, I can't look this way. I can't look this way for my husband. I can't look this way for my he will not be attracted to me anymore. I'm not happy. In fact, sometimes I remember I'll be betting with my husband, and I'll be like, babe, do I still look beautiful to you? Do I still look good to you? Do you think I'm still beautiful? Am I still okay? And Oga is like, you still look the same. And trust me, I don't believe him. And we women, we know that. So they will tell us these things, but we will not believe. It's not as if they are lying. Of course, they're not lying, because truly, we still look the same. My husband will say, you're still the same person I fell in love with. All of these things are just life that is happening, but it doesn't change the fact that when I look at your face or look at you, you're still the same Onome Anabui, now Kolade anyways, that I fell in love with. So there is nothing different about you. And then there's also the part that says, oh, as a mother, you can't be a mother and be a wife. I remember when someone told me something that after she gave birth to her child, her husband started complaining about how he felt neglected and all of that.
Wonderful. All right, so tell us a little bit about the practical steps that women can take. Okay, we're looking for solutions. So what practical steps can women take to rediscover their sexual selves, especially after childbirth, and how important is it for society, okay, to normalize these conversations? Because a lot of persons feel they will get shunned for even talking about it. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about how society can support women in this aspect.
It is okay to go for therapy if you feel you need help. I know Nigeria will be like, we know they go for therapy now, they need all that kind of thing. It's a lie. It's a lie. Like, you can't be going through what you feel you're going through right now postpartum. You're not interested in sex with your partner, and you feel you don't need therapy, especially after it's been too long. We're talking about 1 year without having intimacy with your partner. When it touches you, you're irritated, you are angry. It's okay to go for therapy. It is okay. You're probably still traumatized. You still go through PTSD. There are times when, like, recently I tried watching, this is at 10 months postpartum. Now, I'm not having intimacy with my husband, but I'm just giving this to sort of explain to you how PTSD can affect a woman. So you need therapy, and that is fine. Mama, that is fine. It doesn't mean you're less of a person. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you want to be better. Do you understand? So that is one way you can, help yourself. And also, you can meet with your gynecologist. Okay, explain medically, this is what is wrong with me. It could be your something is wrong with your hormones and it needs to be checked. You go to the hospital, please, this is what's wrong with me. I need to feel better. I'm not sexually attracted anymore I don't find my husband sexually attractive anymore. I don't want him to touch me. This is what is wrong with me. Talk to your partner. Be open to him. Communication is key. This is the relational part now. Communication is key. Talk to him. Tell him, babe, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going through. And he would hold you every step of the way. He will. If you're scared, he won't. Talk to a friend. Talk to someone. If you feel your partner doesn't understand, talk to your mom. Just talk to someone. Talking to people about things you're going through makes it lighter, makes it easier. And then the second part of the question is, how important is it for society to normalize this conversation? Because a lot of people get shunned. Now, the truth is this: a lot of the issues that mothers go through is as a result of societal projections, because we feel that as a mother or as mothers, you should be able to be a wife and be a mother. You should be able to be a wife and be a mother. And the truth is, it's not always that easy. It's not always that easy to, pair these two together. So society needs to understand that these things are normal. The days of our parents, they weren't as outspoken. It wasn't the period of media age where now a lot of things are on media, a lot of things women are going through, people are saying the truth. In fact, as a matter of fact, a lot of people didn't even know how bad labor was until people started talking about it on social media. Because our mothers, they made it seem like, oh, it's easy, all you need to do is push the baby out. Our parents, our mothers, they felt like, oh, okay, as a mother, you have to be strong, you have to hold the family together. You can't be, you have to be both a caregiver, you have to be both a mother and a wife, and the two has to work together. So if you're coming to meet me, you're complaining that this, that, you shouldn't be doing that. No. We need to understand that women are different. What worked for Madam A would not work for Madam B. I said the other time that intimacy was not okay, was not a problem for me. 4 months postpartum, I was okay. But for other people, it was difficult. If you're a mother and you feel you're going through postpartum depression, please seek help. Because a lot of mothers have gone mad. They call it postpartum psychosis, I think. I can't remember the words now, where you start to act like a mad person. That is why I would say, the moment you feel, even as husbands, let me also talk to the husband. Let your wife be able to come and meet you and tell you that this is what you're going through without you brushing it aside and be like, are you the only woman to go through this? No. Let her be able to come and meet you and tell you, this is what I'm going through, I need help. If I, without her having to tell you, look out for these signs and be like, babe, you need help, we need to go see a therapist, you need to go see your doctor, you don't seem okay to me, you're probably suffering from postpartum depression, I'm with you in this, we're in this together. Do you understand? So society needs to embrace this, as things are changing. People are now outspoken about the way they feel during postpartum phase. People are different. Our mothers were not as outspoken as us, but now social media is helping us push this out there. Do you understand me? So please, and I would like to wrap up with this. Mothers, if you're feeling like you're not about to be intimate with your husband, it is fine. There is nothing wrong with you. It's a phase and it will pass. There are other mothers like you out there who are going through this. It's a phase and it will pass. Get help if you need to. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself and communicate with your partner, communicate with someone, talk to someone, and you'll be fine.
All right, thank you so much, Precious, for being a part of the program today and for your amazing insight.
It's been a pleasure being here today.
Now, before I round off the show, I actually spoke briefly with a medical doctor to get her thoughts on whether there's any medical reasons why some women may feel sexually disconnected after childbirth. And here's what she had to say.
Hello, I am Dr. Osawese Izomo, talking about the reasons for reduced sexual drive in women post-delivery. I'm going to talk about this in 3 parts, or under 3 headings. First, the physical reasons, the physiological reasons, and then the psychological reasons. Talking about the physical reasons, thinking about it, labor is such a difficult process. It doesn't even necessarily matter what kind of labor it is, if it is done under medication or not. Labor is difficult, hence the name labor. For women who deliver vaginally or who deliver through cesarean sections, either way it results in some level of physical injury, and that alone can be very difficult physically for women. Being what it is, post-delivery, a lot of women would not be interested in anything remotely sexual because, one, those who deliver vaginally go through actual physical trauma in the same area they are supposed to have sex in. So sex would definitely be one of the last things on their minds. Or, well, let me not say definitely, most likely. because of how painful it would be just after delivery. Some women will have to have a surgical tear, an episiotomy, while some women would tear naturally. And even those without either kind of tear will still have some level of bruising in that area. So sex wouldn't really be one of the things in the forefront of their minds. Then even women who have had cesarean sections, it takes a good amount of weeks for the scar to fully heal. It doesn't necessarily allow them to take positions that would enable sexual activities. And in all honesty, there is the advice to wait for a good number of weeks, if possible months, to allow the surgical site fully heal before undertaking such vigorous activities. Then talking about the physiological reasons, post-pregnancy is a period where there is a cocktail of different kinds of hormones surging through the new mother's blood. One of them is something called prolactin. It is the hormone that is responsible for milk production. Even for people who are not pregnant, who happen to have very high levels of prolactin, their libido would be significantly reduced. It is one of the hormones that causes low sex drive, but primarily it is for production of milk. Most mothers post-delivery would breastfeed or would at least produce milk for a good number of months. And the more they produce milk, in quotes, the less likely they are to be interested in sex because of high levels of prolactin. And finally, just to briefly talk about the psychological reasons as well, for some women, the delivery process has a very big psychological toll on them, causing them to feel low in their mood, manifesting in things like postpartum depression or baby blues, whichever one it is. At this point, because of the low mood, low energy levels that come with these conditions, again, sexual activities would not be at the forefront of their minds. There's also the issue of support. Not every woman would be blessed to have or lucky to have a supportive family or a supportive partner. It's a very big shift in identity, moving from, just your person to, especially for new mothers, if I may say, to being someone's mother. There's a big mind shift. There is a big shift in responsibility in the amount of things that the mother is saddled with. If she doesn't have family in the area, or just for one reason or the other doesn't have family, be it the extended family or even a partner in this post-delivery period, let alone one who is supportive, again, sex wouldn't be the priority. Sex wouldn't cross her mind. And all of this in themselves will also cause low sexual drive. And this pretty much explains why for a lot of women, sexual drive would be low. I have to add that with all of this, the reason is very multifactorial and also can be individual. For one person, even with the presence of the hormones, even post surgical trauma, for one reason or the other, the sexual drive will still be there. It's not a one size fits all. And again, some people are really lucky to have family, mothers who come over to help with the babies, or a really, really supportive husband who knows, new baby isn't for mommy alone. They both participated to bring forth new life, and such people, or the men in their lives, need to, step up to the need, or step up to the new responsibility of being fathers. And for such people, maybe, just maybe, sexual function and libido would would more likely return to what it used to be, or be even better for some people post-delivery.
All right, as we round off today's conversation, I want to thank our guest, Precious Lionel Kolade, once again for shedding light on a topic that so many women silently carry. I also had a conversation with a medical doctor, which you just watched a couple of minutes ago. She emphasized that postpartum sexual changes are not just emotional. They are also linked to real medical factors like hormonal fluctuations, perineal trauma, fatigue, and breastfeeding-related hormonal shifts that actually reduce libido. So if you're out there and you're watching this program and you are going through that issue, the truth is you're not alone and you're not broken. Postpartum sexual changes or challenges are valid, they are common, and most importantly, there is a solution. As of course you've rightly heard on the program today, what matters is that we start having these conversations without shame, and we create space for women to seek support and not just silence. Because honestly, your body has done something extraordinary, and it deserves patience, it deserves love, it deserves understanding from you and of course your partner. So anyways, until next time, my name is Ameze Bazwai. Thanking you for joining us on Woman to Woman. Good afternoon.